Good morning, Gemini. This is your love reading for Monday, June date 2021. It's funny because in my profession reading I said don't let love distract you too much, so let's get distracted by love a bit, because balance in everything. Don't abandon one facet to fully explore another. You only cheat yourself. Affluence. Perhaps there's an abundance of love in our presence right now, or that's a good omen to start with. So the theme is affluence. Not affluence of love. I guess I think of affluence as the ability to acquire and redistribute it. It's the ability to not have to fret about the arrival of what you need when you need it. Affluence. Knight of Wands. This is fun. While in your personal or professional life you may be developing a vision, as the Page of Wands has suggested in many other readings, the Knight of Wands suggests that in this area you're quite mature. You're able to stand by what it is that you consider love is and assert it with passion. This is the rampant knight right here. I like it. It implies that you can wield a bit of confidence that's well earned from life's struggles, taking you to this point in understanding. Well, you came out, so I'll let you out. But don't let your present penury of it completely demoralize you. Well, this suggests the obvious poverty. What I like about this card is that it reminds me to be conscious of my thirst. Oftentimes when I'm hungry, I sort of decide to stop being hungry, and then I don't really have to care about it for a day or two until I start to get more tired, or similarly with the actual physical thirst. Once you get past a certain point of not obsessing about the absence of what it is that's making you uncomfortable, then it's not really as much of a problem anymore. So, how to put it? The experience of a day spent thirsty is a completely different one if you're constantly looking for water that you can't find versus when you accept that you will not find water and you attempt to go about the day as you otherwise would, or even to conserve what energy you have. This suggests to not quest for love, to not let the thirst drive you, but to instead let the well-earned passion of the Knight of Wands motivate you. Helps you avoid temptation. The Empress. I mean, how to put it? I'll put it personally. In my own life, it's exciting because here's, shall we say, a powerful female entering my life. That's always exciting. But, on a metaphorical or personal level, if you want to take it there, it suggests that love is going to be found not so much through the sociable connection with groups, but rather through an internal... I don't know what this means. Let's try again. That's funny. I don't know what it means to you. Search your vision. Now, this is actually a very neat one for me. This got really interesting really fast, because the Empress is one spiritual pathway, and, shall we say, the old dogmas are another spiritual pathway, and this suggests the need to assert one's vision. In love, I take it to mean that oftentimes we can truly love people who don't believe that which we believe. And, well, we could look for a perfect match in every area and every area of our lives, in all of our lives. We limit ourselves to, frankly, people whom we grow around and enjoy life with, or people with whom we might meaningfully collaborate. It's important to not subsume one's own desires or beliefs into those of other people who we love. easily in the past. I've slotted into a relationship and then just kind of become as close to the other person as I could in terms of my ambitions, my desires, my beliefs themselves. I am excited to live in an age where two people of two churches with enough similarity, so to speak, can love each other, or a red and a blue can share a dinner table and potentially love each other. You know, it's possible for us to get past these personal differences without having to bury our own between two visions which both have beauty and both have a lot of the same symbols that might uplift other people around them, but one is grounded, one is flying. That was interesting. I think "I don't know" is one of the best things that an adult can learn to say. It gets us to ask more questions and get useful answers like that. But Five of Wands. Well, again, we come up with the conflicting vision, that all too often when we are creating a family or we're coming together as groups of people that love each other, we kind of create a brand out of ourselves, and figuring out what that is could be an endless source of conflict, or personally my own advice comes back to this last cluster of cards that I drew, which is set it aside. Let each person stand for who they are, and don't think of it as an organization. There are aspects of love that are organized in terms of the activities that bring us together and the sort of rules that we create, but it doesn't make sense to me that two people anywhere on Earth would believe exactly the same things, be exactly the same people. Maybe they're out there, but we could become it, but I don't think people start that way. Journey away from pain, a need to release. Now, okay, in the context of what's come before, particularly the conflicting visions right here, I see that as a need to sort of release the dumb monkey buttons that are still inside of you. And that's how I take it for myself, which is to say that even if there are differences between myself and people who I love, they don't matter as much if I file off such edges that are obvious triggers. You know, we've all got those things in us that if someone brings it up, we immediately get all defensive or aggressive and stop the conversation or assert the rightness of our view and begin to try and overcome their objections. If we just say, well, those conversations don't need to happen, it smooths the relationships a lot in love. And people can be assured, it's like, okay, I definitely understand that this person is like totally dedicated to this thing and they will not budge an inch on this ideology. Great, we don't have to talk about that. Let them behave their ideology instead of proselytizing it. Greatest enemy. On the heels of my word about not proselytizing one's ideology or one's core values, does run the risk that in our mastery of them we can hold them too closely to our hearts. And so this underscores the need to express our higher selves through behavior in all of our endeavors, not to create a narrative as assiduously as we create a set of behaviors and impressions that we leave behind us in our wake to define what it is that love is to us. We can say I love all day long, but love is a feeling that is expressed through action. It's presence and it's the quality of an experience with another person. What brings us together and what makes us treasure moments together is what love is. And so no matter what the words are, you need to keep renewing love. Heart opening, fantastic. The greatest ally. I call it the TASP after Larry Niven's concept in Ringworld. They've got this sort of race of puppeteer aliens that They don't have any weapons, but they have this tool that just like makes you feel absolute ecstatic, rapturous pleasure for seconds to minutes, and people get addicted to that. And that's kind of one of the things I think that Roko's basilisk or God controls me with. When I say or do the right thing, I get that. That was a really good one. Your greatest ally is the King of Cups. That is the emotional maturity and understanding that allows us to say and understand things such as these, to remind ourselves of the other person's experience of love and ground our delivery of love in that. Gemini, behavioral economist, suggests that I tell you to hit like and subscribe, so please hit like and subscribe, and good day.